easier. People are going to want to immigrate. It's part of the reason why people wanted to come here. People are going to want to live in countries that have both economic opportunity, but also social safety net programs that, again, just make your, we talk about freedom. If you look at the World Freedom Index, okay, we like to think of the United States as the freest country. We're not the freest country. You look at that list, we're like pretty low down compared to a lot of these Nordic countries. Denmark is top of that list.
So here we go again. We're always being compared to, the Nordic countries, to Norway, to Sweden, to Switzerland, to Finland, to Norway. All of these out there, right? And they say, oh, they're the freest countries out there. How come millions upon millions upon millions of people, why aren't they going across the fjords to Finland? There is immigration that's occurring to there, but it's not even close to the immigration that's going to the European countries. When they talk about this freedom index, they put all sorts of things inside there. And health, obviously, is one of those things in that freedom index. And as I said before, you're dealing with a homogenous set of a population, predominantly white in terms of ethnicity. All right? So in terms of health outcomes, it's pretty well set. You don't have to worry about the black population and the health challenges that are within the black population, or within the Hispanic population, or with the Indian population, or with the Arab population, or with the Jewish population, or with the Italian population, or a whole mix of various different ethnicities and races, that you have in the United States of America. And then also, as I said before, you're dealing with just a smaller amount of people. The population size is so much smaller. So in terms of distributing services out, you're distributing services out to, tens of millions rather than hundreds of millions as you would be doing here in the United States. And then you're talking about land mass across a huge 3,000-mile stretch or 3,500-mile stretch of landmass in the United States versus a completely smaller mass where people are living, maybe more predominant within the cities, less out in the rural areas in those other countries, the Nordic countries, as Anna is saying. It always is it's not an apples to apples comparison. It's always like apples and meat.
Look, Denmark has a mixed economy. When we have these debates about, socialism versus capitalism, I think that those debates are a little ridiculous because every country is not every country, but most countries are mixed economies.
Right. The United States is a mixed economy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Now, the issue with the United States is there used to be a time when public universities were free, right? You didn't have to dig yourself into a massive hole to get an education. There was a time in this country where there was universal child care. That was cut down to the point where it's like no longer in existence unless you're desperate and have like no money and need to take advantage of some programs that are available in some states. But my point is, we have an issue here where on one hand, we're experiencing a labor shortage. We want people to go back to work. On the other hand, people literally can't afford the childcare necessary in order to put their kids in a daycare, put their kids in childcare, and be able to go to work without their entire paycheck.
The Biden bill removes many work requirements for many of the payments that are being made to people, and it's incentivizing people not to go back to work, which is why we have 10 million open jobs in the United States and people not coming back to work.
That is not what that bill does.
That's exactly what that bill does, Anna. That's exactly what that bill does. Read the bill yourself. There's incentives inside there, okay, that are disincentivizing people to go back to work. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. But the thing is, nobody read the damn bill before anyway. They just pushed it through. Why is it that people, and you talk to employers and they're saying they're trying to get their employees back. I have friends of mine that are running businesses, said they tried to get employees to come back, and the employees said they're making more money sitting at home than what they're paying at work. So you tell me. Don't tell me, all right, that that's not what was in the bill. You can just come out and say it. That doesn't mean that it's true.
In fact, That's not what that.
Let me
Are you
move
talking
on.
about the $3.5 trillion reconciliation
I am talking about the $3.5 trillion bill.
The $3.5 trillion reconciliation
The earned income
bill
tax credit
offers
removed.
universal pre-K, which opens up the opportunity for mothers to go to work if they want to go to work. The $3.5 trillion bill.
She just said it right there, which opens up the ability for mothers to pay if they want to go back to work. If. You just said before that they're 64, they want to go back to work. Now it's if they want to go back to work.
By the way, has all sorts of subsidies for corporations, which I don't really understand why the business community isn't salivating over that, because rather than just going full force with public programs, which I think would be the right way to go, it's offering all sorts of subsidies in these, public-private partnerships. Now, the physical infrastructure bill has a lot more corporate giveaways, which is why the, business community absolutely loves it, offers the chance to privatize public infrastructure, which is why the business community absolutely loves it. But at the end of the day, if we don't create a society where Americans can actually have families and go to work, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
So to go back to your immigration point, you made a mention a moment ago of people immigrating to the country for the benefits. That's just abjectly untrue. The fact is that the United States' great immigration growth throughout the beginning of the Republic, all the way up through about 1930, was entirely driven by people who were leaving places that in many cases had broader benefits, places like Germany, to come to the United States where there was no social safety net. The fact is that the vast majority of people who used to leave and come to the United States were coming specifically to build a life knowing that they really didn't have a lot of social safety net. Now, that's not an argument that there shouldn't be some state and local possibility for social safety net, but the notion that the way that you build a successful country that is a world power and is capable of not only making sure that its citizens are taken care of, but essentially making sure that the entire Western world is taken care of, which we did throughout the Cold War, the idea that you do that simply by raising the number of social security payments that you're making to people or benefit payments that you're making to people, that this is the way that you build that sort of economy is just non-borne out by empirical
We've
fact.
had a real far-ranging conversation.
Yes.
Ben.
I have to take one thing. I just want to go back and make sure that people understand. When I was talking about where immigration and people are coming now, and Ben said it wasn't borne out by the details, that immigration was fueled by people coming for the benefits. He was talking about since the beginning of the century coming forward. My thing was that I would say within the past few decades, probably the last 30, 40 years or whatever, and especially in the recent few decades, the last 10 or 20 years, a majority of the people, yes, they're coming because they want freedom and they know that they can have some type of a better life in America. But they also know that either through people that have already come here and have told them, or they're hearing from over there, that they come over here and they will be able to get some type of social assistance if they can cross the borders legally or illegally, come over to the United States and basically, mooch off the system and get the benefits without having the years of putting into the system, grab those benefits immediately. That's what's happening. Anyways, round 6, definitely this one, okay. I would say if this was a 10-round fight, you'd probably have to give 9 rounds, to Ben in terms of this one here in part 6. So we appreciate you taking the time. Let us know in your comments below. Do you agree that Ben did better than Anna in this one here in terms of the, taxes and, paying your fair share? Let us know below. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. Like, share, and follow us. I said comment below. Hit that notification bell. I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.